Today, we're going to dive into one of humanity's oldest and, let's be honest, most mysterious pursuits wisdom. But we're not going to talk about it as something you just know. We're going to look at it as something you actually become. So let me ask you this. Do you think with your head or with your heart? We've all heard that question, right? It sounds like a simple choice, like you have to pick a side. But what if I told you that the real magic, the real key to a deeper life, isn't in the choice, but in the tension between the two? This incredible quote comes from a conversation that happened almost 100 years ago, and it absolutely changed the game for modern psychology. The story behind it points to this huge split in the modern mind, and that's exactly where our journey is going to start today. All right, so picture this. It's 1925. We're in the high desert of New Mexico. The legendary psychologist Carl Jung travels all the way to the Taos Pueblo to meet an elder named Okwe Biano, also known as Mountain Lake. And what happened on that rooftop wasn't just a casual conversation. It was an encounter that would totally reshape how Jung saw the human mind. For Jung, this observation wasn't an insult at all. It was a diagnosis. A stunningly accurate one. He saw that modern Western culture, with all its incredible progress, had somehow created this psychological tear, separating our rational, analytical minds from the wisdom of our feelings and our bodies. We'd become fragmented. What Jung started to realize was that this head versus heart thing was just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. It was just one axis on a larger map of the mind. And what's so wild is that this map, this sacred pattern of four, it isn't unique to his work. Nope, it shows up over and over again in ancient wisdom traditions all across the globe. This pattern is called the quaternity. It's basically any group of four that represents wholeness and balance. I mean, think about it. The four seasons, the four cardinal directions, it's everywhere. And it's perfectly captured in the indigenous medicine wheel, which is this sacred circle that literally maps out the dimensions of a complete, balanced human life. So here's where it gets really interesting. This ancient spiritual compass, it lines up almost perfectly with a modern psychological one. See, Jung also identified four main functions of consciousness, four totally different ways that we all engage with the world around us. And just look at how these parallels line up. It's pretty stunning. The north, which represents mental clarity, it's a mirror image of Jung's thinking function, our logical side. The west, the direction of introspection, that lines up with his feeling function, how we decide what something is worth. The south, totally grounded in reality, well, that's just like sensation, taking in the world through our senses. And the east, the direction of vision and possibility, you guessed it, that's intuition, our ability to see patterns and the could be. It's amazing, two completely different cultures creating the exact same map of the human psyche. So, okay, if we all have this inner map with these four different territories, how do we actually learn to navigate it? How do we become whole? Well, Jung gave this lifelong journey a very specific name. He called it individuation. Simply put, individuation is the process of becoming who you were always truly meant to be. It's about shedding all those fake masks we wear for society and bringing all the parts of ourselves together, the good, the bad, the rational, the irrational, so we can become a truly authentic individual. Now, this path is not easy. It means we have to confront our shadow, all those parts of ourselves we'd rather just ignore or deny. A really practical first step here? Just notice what qualities in other people really, really get under your skin. Often that's a huge clue about what's hiding in your own shadow. The journey goes on from there, integrating our inner masculine and feminine energies until we finally shift the center of our personality from our tiny little ego to the much, much larger and wiser self. Okay, this all sounds really deep and profound, right? But how do we actually do it? How do we walk this path in our day-to-day lives? Well, this is where a super practical concept comes into play: mastery. The author George Leonard gives us this absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle. The path to wisdom, just like mastering the guitar or learning a new language, isn't some constant, exciting climb to the top. Nope. Most of the real journey happens on what he calls the plateau, that long, flat, sometimes boring stretch where we're just putting in the work, day after day, even when the results aren't obvious at all. And here's the thing, our culture, it really hates the plateau. We are wired to want the quick fix, the instant results, the life hack. But wisdom, it demands a totally different mindset, the mastery mentality. This means you have to fall in love with the process itself, the daily reflection, the tough inner work, the patient practice. You have to find joy in that without just chasing some future outcome.
So, when we start to put all these pieces together, the ancient map of the psyche from the medicine wheel, Jung's journey of individuation, and this practical discipline of mastery, we get a whole new vision of what wisdom really is. It's not a finish line you cross, it's a way you learn to live.
So the path to wisdom, it's really built on this foundation of radical self-knowledge. It's a path you walk using methods that let you engage with your own inner world. And it's all held together by a discipline that values the journey way more than the destination. The result isn't some trophy you put on a shelf. It's a fundamental shift in who you are. It's better judgment, more balance, and a much deeper compassion for yourself and for everyone else. So, as we wrap up this explainer, the real question isn't, are you wise? The real question is, where does your journey toward wholeness need to begin, right now? Take a look at the map of your own life. Is the north calling to you, asking for more mental clarity? Is it the east, beckoning you to dream bigger? Maybe it's the south, telling you to get more grounded in reality. Or is it the west, inviting you to do that deep, introspective work of the heart? The journey is all yours.